Last year, we got a power increase of 32 horsepower. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it really did change the 0 to 60 numbers. Volkswagen of North Tampa has given us the 2023 Volkswagen Arteon sel Rline 4Motion in your opal white pearl. New this year, I'm gonna go over who is it going against? Dodge Charger, a Nissan Maxima, but the style and the performance that we have brings me to, is this going to be better than Audi A5 or A6? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm gonna go over all the specs and details starting now. The Volkswagen Arteon sel Rline, new this year, standard LED headlamps for the SEL. On the sel Rline, LED headlamps, daytime running. You get the light bar that goes into the Volkswagen badging, all chromed out with the gloss black. On the lower, you're gonna get the chrome strip that enters into all the gloss black. Standard 18-inch, these are 20-inch multi-spoke, four-wheel independent suspension, XDS cross differential system, the disc reading behind it at 13.4, the rear at 12.2 inches with DCC multi-mode adaptive chassis control, standard adaptive cruise control. When you put all of these things in perspective for what you're getting in value, you're looking at least $60,000 to $70,000, and that's not what this costs. A length at 191.4 inches with a wheelbase at 111.7 inches, which, like I was saying, slots between the A5 and the A6. So you have a great blend with performance underneath the hood and a discounted price. Not to sound like a broken record, but the only thing that I would do is maybe smoke out the chrome so it gets more of a sporty attribute, because it's very luxury look. LED tail lamps, you get the gloss black on that spoiler lip for the hatch. On the lower, here they went a little bit too soft. I wish they would have made everything gloss black, maybe added a diffuser, even blackened out the tips. I like that we have them. It's so much luxury, and yet there's so much performance packed underneath this. We have a power hatch going inside. 19.9 cubic feet. You have a storage compartment on the side. Underneath the floor, you're going to get your spare tire. The rear bench split folds at a 40-60 split. That's gonna max the cargo to the hatchback. Lower bumper lip to make it easy for your load. The more notable thing is all of the Germans will have less than 300 horsepower for their base vehicles. This has 300. Let's go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. The Volkswagen Arteon sel Rline definitely backs the performance underneath it that we've been craving for. Rivals being a Dodge Challenger or the Nissan Altima will have the same horsepower, but they will be slower in the 0 to 60, and the Arteon backs the performance with a 2.0 liter TFSI turbocharged 4-cylinder, producing 300 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, achieving 22 to 31 mpgs, a 0 to 60 around 4.6 seconds, which shaves 1.5 seconds from the prior gen engine. Quarter mile at 13.3 seconds, which is about 0.5 seconds quicker than the prior gen engine as well. So when you're comparing it to the German rivals, even its own brand being Audi, this is going to be quicker, saving anywhere from $5,000 all the way up north to about $15,000. Now this one will be more money than the actual rivals, meaning the Nissan and the Dodge. You're going to be spending $5,000 to near $10,000 more, but the performance is quicker and you get great MPGs. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2023 Volkswagen Arteon sel Rline as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Volkswagen Arteon sel Rline, you're going to receive 37.7 inches of headroom, 41.2 inches of legroom, sport bucket front seats, leather wrapped in the titanium black, 12-way power adjustments for both passenger and driver. They're heated. You get memory for the driver. Dashboard gets the brushed aluminum with the contrast stitching, satin silver underneath it with the gloss black. Seamless air vents, and they do the same thing that just tailors into the door panel, so I do like how clean it is with a storage pocket on the driver's side. We have the gesture, we have the pinch, the swipe, click into your menu. We have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, streaming Bluetooth audio, CarNet, Tri-Climatron, which you can do right through here for your front or for your rear. Your ambient lighting, which you can change right on the fly. So if you look, changing it in the door panels, you're changing it underneath. Put it into reverse. We have a reverse camera with front and rear parking sensors. You do have trajectory, and it does make it pretty easy because it covers the whole screen. Dual climate control settings, and it is touch sensitive, so I do like that. Also for your heated seats, you can just tap on them. You have a little storage compartment here. That would be your wireless charging pad, the gloss black. We're going to change into the driving modes here so you can see that you can tailor it if you go into custom. So we're going to adjust it, and you can adjust all of these settings to make it more sport derived or normal depending on the way you like to drive. The only disadvantage with that wireless charging is it's a little tough to get it in and out. It does cover it up. I wish it would have been a little bit more of an opening. 16.9 ounce fits without any issue. I would say 32 ounce max. Elbows are going to be sport derived. This slides forward. You can also lift it up. 2 USB-C ports, and it's not going to be the deepest in class. So storage, it's going to lack a little bit. R-line steering wheel with the soft leather and the perforated. You get the gloss black for your touch pads. I like the silver and that R-line badging. It really makes it look sporty with the paddle shifters. The gauge cluster is a digital readout, which is standard for the SEL R-line, and you can go through an array of information. The only disadvantage, if you want navigation here, just hit the display, view it, so it's nice and big. You have 3 different ways to view it. Then you're not going to see it here. So you have to just choose which way you want it. If you want the navigation back, you click on and you got it right there. R-line interior comes into the door panel with that aluminum. You get the gloss black that has your ambient lighting inside, soft leatherette with the contrast stitching, one touch up and down for your windows. It's going to be a little bit more firm for your elbows. It's a pretty decent storage pocket. For the back seats, I'm at 37 inches of headroom, 40.2 inches of legroom. So I am taken care of with that. Just the headroom is going to be less because it's the fastback design. Comparing it to Nissan or the Dodge, you're going to have more cargo. You're going to have more space in the back. You're going to have more storage compartments. You're going to have more charging ports. Going into the door panel, everyday material with the ambient lighting behind the gloss black. Contrast stitching, you get the leatherette, going to be more sport derived, one touch up and down from the frameless windows, and the storage pocket's about the same size as the front. Sitting into the center, headroom is not too much of an issue. Leg space is sharing feet, butt, shoulder space, but overall pretty easy to fit 3 adults, my dimensions at 6'3". So comparing it to the German rivals, whether it's Audi, BMW, or Mercedes, this is going to be right at the same in the back seat. Comparing it against what it should, meaning the Dodge Charger or the Nissan Maxima, this is going to lack because those are more of a sedan, whereas this is more of a fastback. Taking the 2023 Volkswagen Arteon sel R-Line 4Motion out on our test run. 2.0 liter TFSI, turbocharged, 4-cylinder, 300 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 around 4.6 seconds, quarter mile in the mid 13 seconds. I mean, these are crazy numbers for a vehicle that's under 50 grand at the spec that we have, and this is more or less fully loaded. Now, we don't have the massage seats and we don't have the ventilated seats. However, this is a pretty good spec considering that you got the 4Motion. So if you do need the all-wheel drive, then you're gonna option that. It's about $2,000 upgrade. As for the way you sit, it feels like an A5 or even an S5. Comparing it against what it should compare against, this is going to be more sport derived. Then you will get the luxury, and then you'll get the technology, which you have the touch pads, you have the gesture. I mean, these are things that are found in $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 vehicles, and that's where they start, especially when you're trying to get gesture control. So I do like the fact that you're getting a gauge cluster that's full digital. Everything in the front is all touch derived, and you have that ambient lighting that just sets itself out like a Mercedes. 30 different colors for your ambient lighting. Now clearance at a low speed, you're gonna feel it. But at a higher speed, it does absorb it, which I will show you throughout the review. As for the length of it, I mean, you're under 200 inches, so you do have a little bit of an area for blind spot, especially into the back, but you have your blind spot monitoring and your lane keep assist, so you are taken care of with that. As for the steering wheel in normal, it feels, I would say, not so sporty. So we're gonna put it into sport mode so we can tighten that up a little bit, but look at this. And the brakes. The brakes are not going to be the best in class. We are set with the IQ Drive technology, which gives you the frontal pedestrian detection and your reverse assist with your adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring. So I mean, you got everything in the technology category. Now there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike, because anything more than that, I'd be buying this Arteon. The 3 things that I like is that we finally have power sufficient that will get you a savings of anywhere from $5,000 to near $15,000 in the performance line. I'm going to try to get it as straight as possible. Downshift, and here we go. Quiet inside, even at a higher speed with 20-inch wheels. The second thing that I like is the suspension layout that you get. You really have to test drive this type of vehicle to understand what somebody is saying, because you're not gonna know it unless you really get a little bit playful in the dynamics. The last thing that I like about the vehicle, you have gesture, you have touch sensitive buttons. Technology is embedded inside for a fraction of the price of the rivals in the German line. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle starts off with the hard materials. They're pretty much everywhere. And when you start getting into the higher price point, it would be nice to see softer material, especially in the center, leading me to the second thing that I dislike, these buttons. I mean, it sounds like I'm typing on a typewriter or a computer. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the wireless charging pad. When it's in park, it's almost impossible to get your phone in and out because it's such a tight fit. If you have a larger phone, it may not even fit depending on the case that you get. These are some things that obviously they're not going to change because next year they're discontinuing it. But for an overall perspective, what you're getting is amazing. 300 horsepower with 295 pound-feet of torque. That's unheard of for something that starts with base price on the German side with less performance. And you're talking anywhere from the mid-30s to 50 horsepower less. Comparing it to what it should be comparable to, it's right on point, but it's still faster, and you get more of an elegant look with a fastback design.